Where does it stop? Okay, let's listen to Zizek talking about white guilt.
So first, a big rabbi said, "Oh my God, I am nobody. I am not worthy of your attention, God." Then a rich Jewish merchant comes and says, "Oh my God, I'm also nobody. Don't even consider me. I'm not worthy of your attention." Then, I hope you know the joke, a poor Jew stands up and says, "God, I'm also a nobody." And then the rich merchant kicks the rabbi and said, "Who is this guy that he thinks he can also say that he is a nobody?" There is deep truth in this. Whenever somebody apparently humiliates himself and so on, adopts this attitude of, "I despise my nation, my identity, blah, blah," be very careful for looking for secret privilege, what as a Lacanian I would have called surplus enjoyment. I will give you an example which may be even provocative to some of you. I've written about it extensively. In the United States, in these politically correct times, there is one basic rule, very simple. Further that you are from white, male, Protestant, whatever elite, more you are allowed to assert your particular ethnic, religious identity. Like Native Americans, so-called, they hate this term. Indians, I prefer to call them. Do you know my joke, which really happened in Missoula, Montana? One Indian referred to himself as Indian, and immediately a white, well-meaning liberal interrupted him. "No, you're Native American. Don't you know that you are humiliating yourself?" And the Indian gave a perfect answer. He says, "No, sorry. Native American is for me much more racist. It means I am Native American, part of nature, and what are you, cultural American or what?" He said, "I prefer to be called Indian. In this way, at least my name is a sign of white man's stupidity." You know, they thought they are in India. He got it correctly. No, sorry, let's go on seriously.
White man's stupidity.
Native Americans, okay. Blacks, okay. Then Chinese suspicion begins. Italians, maybe Germans, Scandinavians, but if white, WASP, Anglo-Saxon or whatever, if you just say, "I also want to assert my identity," you are a fascist. You are decried as a fascist and so on. Now, I know...
He's not a stand-up comedian. For the person who asked, no, this is Slavoj Zizek. He is a Lacanian philosopher, very prolific, wrote many books, most famously made documentaries about ideology. He is a dumpster diving raccoon that dumpster diving raccoon that double fists hot dogs, and fucking he's a leftist philosopher who took a fat doo-doo on Jordan Peterson's face one time when they debated.
Well-founded reasoning behind this, because this is effectively the hegemonic position. It's not the same for you or for a poor Native American to say, "I want to assert my identity." But I noticed something else, how beneath, I'm now talking about these typical multiculturalist leftist liberals, beneath this self-humiliating gesture, "Oh, we are guilty for everything, imperialist colonizers, we don't have the right," renouncing all your particular features always comes with, in a discreet way, asserting your position of universality. All this apparently modest.
That is a very good take.
Self-denigrating white people, at the same time, I noticed, have no problems behaving in a very patronizing way towards others, correcting them, telling them when they are making a mistake or whatever. So clearly, the secret profit is this moral authority given to you in this way. I think there is something of the same with how in Europe, and I have all sympathy for them, but nonetheless, how in Europe leftists, left liberals, behave towards immigrants. Of course, we should be, my God, my position is,
my God,
do not be afraid, very leftist here. I just noticed how
the reason why people are understandably afraid of what he's about to say is because, you know, Zizek is has interesting opinions on cultural synthesis.
in their very understanding of immigrants, how they always...
He's saying that white people from like a dominant class, whenever they like talk about or try to talk about like racism or anything like that in a, it's overcorrective white people behaving in a way where they want to dictate dominant attitudes, but that still comes from a point of like recognizing, acknowledging, or even somewhat like asserting your dominant point of view. Like your position of prominence in society and how normal your existence is. Latinx would be a decent POV on like a way to immediately understand it. It's like white saviorism still comes from a dominant POV that white people have.
Already patronize them. Like if immigrants do, and like all people, they are a mixed crowd. There are criminals among them and so on. If they do something horrible, rape and so on, white liberals are always looking for an excuse. Oh, this is just general human nature. We are all like that. Or they were so victimized by us, we should understand this and so on and so on. And one of my immigrant friends exploded and told me that it's a beautiful paradox, philosophical. He told me, my God, my basic human right is at least to be recognized as an...
A white guy just got banned on NoPixel for calling Buddha racist for playing an Asian character. Oh, that's funny.
Adult, responsible person, which practically means to be able to do something horrible. Are they aware that by treating me almost like a child in this way, they are humiliating me and so on and so on? So I think that, again, okay, I will not go into political consequences here, just beware how, also with political correctness, often the position of a victim can be used as a nice instrument to justify your exerting of, in academia, American, it's typical. In outside, victims are really victims. But in academia, playing with victimhood, if you're a privileged victim, gives you an incredible power, de facto.